Alright guys, let's warm up by creating a similar design like that one. This one is for Vodafone, which is a telecom company if you don't know about that one. And what you see in here is so similar to their layout when it comes to red plans. And you can Google, for example, Vodafone Red. So they are basically using black and white images along with their logos outlined in red surrounding their main visual element, which is probably sometimes a celebrity or a businessman or something like that. And they do also have their main message within that logo's outline. So anyway guys, while we're creating a similar ad in here, we're going to learn how to create a high contrast black and white image, of course from a colorful one, like that image in here. That's our original image. Then we're going to learn how to interlock our design elements with each other's, like our logo in here with our main visual subject in that image, especially in that upper part as you can see. And also how to follow big brands design guide and color schemes and stuff like that, which is really essential, especially if you're working in a multinational advertising agency or big advertising company. Probably you're not going to be designing these design guides for big brands like Mercedes-Benz or Vodafone or something like that. So anyway, let's start designing right away. Here we have our image, which you can find in your resources. In Photoshop projects you can find Vodafone project. Here you can find that image, which is high-res image, and you can find the logo as well in vector format. And also you can find our final design in PSD file format, maybe as a reference for you guys, or even if you'd like to get some design elements from that file, which is opened in here. By the way, you can see all these layers. If you want to grab maybe that gradient and use it in another design, or maybe that black and white image, or any of these design elements. So let's go to our file, and you can see that I have my layers panel in here, so I can see my layers easily. Remember, you can move that layer panel easily like so. So let's start by duplicating our background image, Command or Control G. Then let's add an adjustment layer, channel mixer. And of course we can turn that layer into a black and white image by selecting that layer. Then we can go to Image, Adjustments, Desaturate. And that's one way to get a black and white image. However, let me show you guys how we can get even a cooler result. So let's keep that layer as a reference for us, moving that one higher and disabling that layer. Then let's duplicate that one again. Then selecting our adjustment layer, channel mixer. Then here you can find preset. You can select any black and white preset. Maybe green will be looking nice. And each and every preset of these will be giving you a different result. So blue filter will be darker like that. Orange, very bright. That's why I selected green for that image. Then we can tweak these sliders in here. If we need to have higher contrast, maybe more blue or less, or even we do have a contrast slider as well, so you can increase contrast, then maybe brighten that one a bit. Now I think we do have a nice black and white image. Let's go ahead and grab our logo, go into our resources, drag and drop. Then let's reposition that one in here, increasing size a bit, just a little bit. We don't need to have a very big logo in here. It's not gonna look nice. And you know what guys, let's move our layers panel all the way to here. Actually, we're not gonna have too many layers in that one, so we can see the entire image better. And now as you can see guys, we don't have a high contrast for our logo in that case, and that's why we need to create a new layer in here below our logo, and that's our reference black and white image. It's very pale when we desaturated that one. However, using a channel mixer is giving you better results in here. We have a nice high contrast image, so we can delete that one. Going back to our newly created layer, let's call that one gradient black. Then we're gonna select our gradient tool. We have black and white. If you don't have black and white in your foreground and background colors, you can press D on keyboard. Then make sure you're selecting black to transparent, then selecting radial mode. Then we're gonna start dragging from here like so, drawing some gradient in there to have better contrast within our image. Then we can reduce opacity for that one, maybe like so. Then let's go ahead and create a new layer. Right click from our selection tools, selecting single column marquee tool to create a stroke in here, just like that one, as you can see. Swapping colors, going to edit stroke, 10 pixels will be fine. Then let's remove that selection, pressing Command or Control D to deselect that. Then let's go ahead and select rectangle marquee tool. Let's create a mask, pressing Shift and creating a new selection in here. Then applying a mask. We need to invert that one. Make sure you have your mask selected, and from your properties panel you can invert mask. Let's increase opacity for that one as well, maybe like so. So we have a better contrast for our logo. And let's type red, selecting our type tool, clicking in here, typing red, then selecting move tool, enlarging our type, pressing Command or Control T to transform that one, while maintaining Alt or Option key to scale that one from center and dragging from any of these corners. And let's also change our font, selecting our type tool, clicking in here, selecting everything, pressing Command or Control A, or highlighting everything, going to our type, selector, and let's select that font in here, Helvetica New, and let's go for bold. Let's also change that color, zooming in, selecting eyedropper tool, and let's sample that red color in here, swapping colors, selecting type tool once again, highlighting our type and swapping colors. Now we have that one in red. Then we can type more messages in here like new business plans ready. So let's copy these two layers in here while having auto select enabled. Let's click on that one. We can see that layer, which is actually a type layer within that group. So we can select the entire group, pressing Command or Control C. And instead of retyping that one from scratch, going to our file, then let's paste that one on top of our gradient black, pressing Command or Control V. Then let's disable auto select so we can move all our type again within that group. And these are regular type layers. They are just like that red one we just created, and they do even have the same font. So if we select our type tool and click maybe on that layer, you can see that we have Helvetica New. However, we have medium font style. It's not bold. And that one in here would be bold Helvetica New as well. And that's our font size for our main message. If you are following along, guys, you can type the same value as well. Anyway, let's go and select move tool, and let's enable auto select once again, and let's hide these two layers in here, or even move them aside for now, as we need to have a clear space in here to start drawing our logo's outline. So selecting our logo, duplicating that one in here, and let me move my layers panel here once again for a second so we can arrange our layers better. So let's select that layer, then holding and maintaining Shift key and clicking on that layer to select all these three layers in here, and let's group them. You can also press Command or Control G to group them. Then double clicking in here, let's type logo part, which is that part in here as you can see. Then let's select that layer, enlarge that one, moving our layers panel again in here, collapsing that. We're enlarging that logo as a reference for us. We might need to reduce opacity as well for that one so we can see that line in here. Then let's retransform that one, pressing Command or Control T and dragging like so. Now let's go ahead and create a new layer and start drawing that logo using our pen tool, or we can mix and match using also curvature pen tool. So let's zoom in. We're gonna start from that side. And remember guys, we do have detailed videos covering how to use pen tools, including curvature pen tool as well, in that course if you would like to check them as well, as we're gonna use them a lot within our designs and they are so essential for each and every designer. Let's zoom in. Actually we missed a bit, so let's undo these points in here, pressing Command or Control Z. And at that point we'll need to transform to classic pen tool because we're changing angle in here. So if we keep clicking like we're doing, we're losing our shape. So let's undo that, selecting our pen tool, clicking in here to continue, then click and drag, holding Alt or Option key to remove that second handle in here, then going back to our curvature pen tool, then let's go ahead and close our path. Remember guys, we do have our vector path in our path panel in here. Zooming out, that's our shape. There is no need for that layer, that logo layer, that was just as a reference for us. And before we stroke our vector path, we need to remove some anchor points from here so we can place our message in that part, just like that design. So we need to select that tool in here, direct selection tool. Then let's maybe select these 3 points in here and delete them. And I think that's quite a big gap, so we can add more points using our curvature tool or our pen tool, showing our logo once again. Then let's go ahead and select that tool in here, path selection tool. Now we have our path selected. We can go even for more saturated color from the same logo. So selecting our eyedropper tool, sampling that one, zooming out, selecting maybe curvature pen tool, right click, then stroke path, brush. That's too large, so let's undo that, selecting our brush tool first. Let's make that one maybe 35 pixels, and also make sure that you do have a sharp regular brush as well, nothing fancy like these brushes, it's gonna be messing your shape. Then let's select any of these pen tools, right click, stroke path, brush, and I think that looks nice. We can go to our path panel, clicking outside to see our shape better, then going back to our layers. Let's rename that one logo outline, trying to keep my file organized and neat in here. Then let's move our message all the way. Maybe you can select you, move it inside like so, then selecting our gradient black adding more gradients, selecting our gradient tool, swapping colors. We have black to transparent. Let's go like that. And actually guys, this is very important to have a high contrast for our main message in that design. And actually, in order to imagine how that would look like without that high contrast, let's hide that layer for a second. You can't really distinguish anything in there, so let's re-enable that layer. And let's see how we can interlock these two elements in here, our main subject and also our logo outline. But before we do that, let's select that one, logo outline. Let me enlarge that one a bit, maybe from here, from that side. And let's nudge it lower. Then I'm gonna try to move that one as it was, aligned to left, as I really think this looks better that way, with even higher contrast. Then let's select our background image, including that guy, and we need to create a new selection by going to select. Then we can select subject, and now Photoshop is doing its magic. It's automatically selecting that guy for us using artificial intelligence or AI or Adobe Sensei, so we can create a mask of that guy. And that's why we do have a duplicate of that layer, as you can see. And now what we really need to do is to place that logo outline below that guy. So let's go ahead and drag that one to the bottom. Now you can see it's a black and white one, because we do have the channel mixer layer, and that's why we need to duplicate that channel mixer layer also to our background layer. So holding and maintaining Alt or Option key and dragging that one to here. Then we need to copy that mask and paste it to that layer, so it's not gonna be affecting our logo. Yes. And now what's really affecting our logo is that gradient black layer, so we can move these three layers on top of that one. Then we can start enhancing that mask, selecting that mask in here, then selecting our brush tool or pressing B on keyboard, enlarging our brush size, using right bracket on keyboard. Then while having black in foreground, we can start painting in here, just to reveal these areas of our logo. And don't worry guys about that black area within our logo, we can duplicate the same mask to our channel mixer as well to fix that. And actually guys, our design work is done in here. However, there are more touches we can add to our design. So for example, we can add vignette to that background image, selecting that one here, going to filter, then converting that one for smart filters. Okay, then going back to filter, camera raw filter, then scrolling down you can find effects, and if you expand that one you can maybe type -25 in here or so, then applying that. And if you would like to see the difference, you can disable that one in here. And I think this one is helping us to focus on our main design subject. And also here's one more bonus step for you guys. Let's assume you would like to add a color tint to your black and white design. Let's scroll to the top of our layers. Below our logo part, we can add a color lookup adjustment layer. And I'm really a big fan of these adjustment layers. Then from here we can select maybe something like crisp warm, then reducing opacity all the way to here, maybe 38, which looks cool by the way. You can try also different modes, maybe edgy amber, which is more intense. However, I like that one even more. And that's just a side tip for you guys. If you're working on a black and white design and you would like to add more color tints to that one, you can apply a similar trick. And before you go, let me tell you something very important. This would be a perfect time to start executing that design on your own and start practicing and experimenting everything we just did in that tutorial. As they say, we learn by doing. Plus remember, you need to work on filling your own portfolio with cool design samples, which we're going to design also in our InDesign section. So building your own portfolio starts from here. So go ahead while you still have the information fresh in your mind and feel free to go through that video once again if you feel you want to, and make sure you stay creative guys, and I'll be seeing you in next one.